Chi continued to help Vietnamese farmers by distributing water filtration kits for water storage. Many municipalities in Taiwan have difficulty managing their own municipal waste disposal. I'm Sean Scanlon. This is DaAi Headlines. Let's get started. 4 years ago, Vietnam's Ben Tre Province suffered drought and flooding, with Tzu Chi volunteers distributing water towers to help them store water. Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers distributed 3,000 sets of water filtration equipment to help locals have clean drinking water. Here's more.
A cheesecloth over a pot, then pouring water over it to filter out the impurities for drinking. This is pretty common occurrence for the poor here in Vietnam.
In this area, half the year is rainy season, while the other half is drought, so residents must store their rainwater in barrels for half a year. Our master Zheng Yan thought that will affect their health.
Testing the local underground water quality and redesigning a filtration system, Tzu Chi is donating 3,000 steel water filtration equipment for the residents in Ben Tre, adapted to suit this area.
I've purchased a water filtration equipment before. It cost me 200,000, but it broke, so this filtration equipment is very valuable to me.
Hôm nay được cũng như là các mạnh thường quân tài trợ cho cô được cái thùng này rất là mừng. Sau này cô sẽ hưởng được là cái nước sạch. Chở được không? Đó giờ cô chưa giờ dùng lấy chỉ không sợ mưa cái mình lấy lưới mùng mình để vậy nè, cái mình hứng mình lượt lá cây rồi uống.
This design is suited to the local Vietnam water. There are two basins. The one at top acts as a filter. The one at the bottom can filtrate out the discharge directly through reverse osmosis, and the equipment does not require electricity. So if they live in a more remote area, they can still use it.
Each barrel of the equipment has ginseng aphorism on it to give the residents some emotional support, as well as physical health support.
In Seri Kembangan, Malaysia, some low-income families were affected by the pandemic. Tzu Chi carried out home visitations and distributed monetary aid, providing relief for many residents. Take a look.
Visiting the Seri Kembangan flat area, Tzu Chi volunteers are doing house visits to collect the names of those who are affected by the COVID-19 pandemic.
They are all low-income families. If they do not have work, they will not be able to feed themselves. We might have missed some of the families, so we hope that through this visit, we can continue to provide them with aid.
It is hoped that the monetary aid will be given to those who are really in need. The list of families is given either by the local councils or kind-hearted members of the public.
Some impoverished families really need our assistance. I know that I might not be able to provide monetary assistance, but I can provide assistance through action. When I know there are families who are in need, I will contact the charity organizations so that they can provide these families with the needed aid.
After completing the list, volunteers immediately held aid distribution. Volunteers bend down 90 degrees and hand over the monetary aid with both hands.
I really needed the aid, so I searched everywhere for help. Upon your arrival, it really helped me a lot. I feel relieved.
Chu Mei Yi's husband is unable to work and she has to take care of her 5 children. Tzu Chi volunteers' arrival has helped her relieve her economic burden.
My husband had a surgery in October last year and he hasn't been working since then. He needs to wait for his wound to heal up before he can head out to work. We have 5 children and they all need to eat.
Volunteers shared the story of the bamboo bank era and also encouraged the residents to adopt a vegetarian diet.
I've been speaking for 4 seconds now, and every second 2,443 lives are being slaughtered for food. Are you willing to reduce meat consumption? Please raise your hands if you are willing.
Caring for each other in the midst of the pandemic, hoping for it to end soon and everyone's life can return to normal.
A Tzu Chi care recipient made the vow to join the ranks of volunteers. She became certified after training last year. She even helped her friend look after her grandson so that she can accomplish her wish to become a volunteer. Here's more.
In a rainy morning at weekend, Tzu Chi volunteer Liam Wei Hao went to the volunteer Vashanta Kumari's home to drive her to care for a care recipient.
I can be volunteer. No matter how, I want to do Tzu Chi. I can do it until the end of my life. Whatever I can, I am willing to do.
Because of the epidemic, people are not allowed to enter the residential building where the care recipient Maria stays. Volunteers can only meet her outside, only to accomplish her wish to be a volunteer.
She said she was afraid no one can take care of her grandson. I said, don't worry, I will take care of your grandson. She was very happy and feeling at ease to be volunteering then. She doesn't have to worry about her grandson anymore.
Now I have her to help take care of my grandson. I feel relieved. Although I don't know how to read or write, I just follow what Tzu Chi volunteers ask me to do. I am born with the ability to volunteer. I just follow.
After the visit, Liam Wei Hao went back to Vashanta Kumari's home to care for her, who was once a care recipient.
When we first visited Vashanta Kumari, we remember that she was a person who always blamed fate on other people. We continued to care for her. When she changed her mind, she wanted to join volunteer training. We were so touched, so we enrolled for her. She finished the volunteer training course last year.
Vashanta Kumari is a sincere Hindu. Every time after worshipping her god, she will put a coin into the coin bank to practice Tzu Chi's concept in daily life.
We are not rich. We save money bit by bit to fill the coin bank and donate it at the AIDS distribution during Ramadan. It is just like accumulating a kind thought every day.
Vashanta Kumari has turned from a care recipient to a volunteer to give of herself, beginning a new milestone in her life.
Tzu Chi volunteers set up a halfway house for rehabilitated people in New Taipei City. Volunteers arrange courses and create opportunities for them to return to society. Recently, a banquet was held so that family members can welcome back rehabilitated people. Take a look.
Different kinds of delicious vegetarian meals are being packed into boxes, just like preparing for a banquet, which will be sent to the rehabilitated halfway house in Sanchong.
We have 3 chefs and everyone has different specialties. We work together as a team. It is good to have such affinity as we can continue to practice kindness.
This rehabilitated halfway house, known as Bodhisattva's home, is located at Sanchong. It was set up by 3 Tzu Chi volunteers, hoping to help the rehabilitated people return to normal lives.
For many of these rehabilitated people, it's very difficult to return to society or family after they leave prison. So we hope through such an activity we can encourage them to invite their family to participate in this reunion banquet. We hope their family can open up their heart to accept these rehabilitated people.
During the reunion banquet, volunteers arrange various programs to enjoy. The moment when the rehabilitated people served tea to their parents was the most touching. Chen Yueliang, a Tzu Chi volunteer who had once gone astray, made a speech on behalf of the rehabilitated people.
We'll guide them to lead a normal life with kindness. We will bear a caring and confessing heart to pass every day.
My son is already 40 years old. If he still doesn't change, I will really give him up. Of course, it's best if he can change. I won't request him to make a lot of money or do something great. As long as he can lead a normal life and behave well, that would be great.
They were once led astray, feeling confused and helpless, but at this moment they have changed already, getting prepared to welcome their normal life.
Rayfine Junior High School has long been a venue for TIMA to carry out free clinics. Tzu Chi volunteers responsible for the free clinic have long interacted with the school. They learned that these children lack a good reading space, so they decided to open the Jingsa reading room at the school. Here's more. To build the first Jingsa reading room in the Geelong area, Tzu Chi volunteers worked to renovate this classroom at Rayfine Junior High School.
Because we are in a rural area, it is very important to promote reading. So at that time, I wanted a classroom to be professionally outfitted. The reading classroom allows our teachers and students to calm down reading.
The Jingsi reading room was complete before the summer vacation. On this day, Tzu Chi people specially organized a book-giving ceremony so that every child could enjoy the vast amount of books.
This is also different from the general library. It has a different tranquility and lets us students have yet another place for self-study, so that everyone can feel the power of these books.
Thanks to Tzu Chi people for providing books about Jingsi aphorisms and related books. It allows our school to have another place to cultivate morality and virtue to make a difference in our life and gain some inspiration.
In fact, information is very developed now and many things can be found on the internet. But providing good books to them is something that we want to provide. We also needed everyone to contribute together. We thank all the Tzu Chi volunteers in Keelung for coming together to create the Jingsi reading room.
In addition to giving children a better reading room, there are many books about humanitarian issues that can help children grow spiritually and emotionally. Several counties and cities in central Taiwan have seen garbage pile up, causing bad odor. Yunlin and Nantou counties are currently not operating their own incinerators, as their garbage must be transported to neighboring counties and cities for disposal. However, incinerators in neighboring counties have to be repaired from time to time, squeezing their ability to process domestic waste. Take a look.
As we go to this waste landfill in Xiliu, the odor becomes worse and worse. The EPA says that domestic waste in Xiliu is about 650 tons a month, which means it has run out of places to incinerate the garbage, which has stacked here for at least 5 years. Why is this garbage piling up here for many years? It is because the speed for processing rates cannot keep up with supply.
Take a look at the amount of waste produced by Yunlin County. It's about 290 metric tons per day. After deducting landfill incineration at the Liuqing incinerator, nearly 200 metric tons of garbage need to be outsourced. However, the amount of waste handled by other counties and cities is only about 100 metric tons, so every day half of the garbage goes nowhere.
Yunlin's many townships have always entrusted other counties and cities to help deal with the garbage problem, so this will happen sooner or later.
With more garbage increasing continually, there's no solution.
Of the 20 townships in Yunlin County, 12 must outsource garbage disposal. In 2016, the amount of typhoon waste increased greatly. But an incinerator used to treat garbage was repaired early on, as neighboring counties and cities refused to lend a helping hand. The garbage amount was 9,000 metric tons, and it reached 60,000 metric tons earlier this year. This has led to breeding of mosquitoes and flies and environmental hygiene problems. Incinerators are also the main culprit of the garbage crisis in the central part of Taiwan because it accepts business waste and squeezes out household waste from other counties and cities.
Because many of our incinerators are both public and private operators are under contract with the country and city governments. They also receive a volume of waste from the enterprises at higher price.
There's no incinerator in Nantou County, and every time the incineration plant from other counties and cities are repaired twice a year, garbage transfer for disposal is a problem.
The accumulated garbage did not go out for incineration, and it also encountered the end of January's National Cleaning Week, leading the amount of garbage to increase again.
It's hard to imagine that what you see behind me are white bundles of rubbish, which each weighs about 1 metric ton. Tens of thousands of metric tons are now piled up behind me at a level of 2 to 3 stories. The manufacturer told us that these bags can only last for about 3 years, and after degrade by wind and rain without repackaging, the stench will be much worse.
After we break open bags of household waste, there may be metal or iron or glass in it. We will break it through this crusher, and the magnetic separator will take out the iron, and the waste is crushed, sorted, and packaged. It's important to help the government promote the circular economy, including energy saving and carbon reduction. Unscreened garbage entering the incineration plant will require more energy for processing.
The magnetic separator is mainly used to sift through the crushed garbage to separate it. Non-combustible material, including sand, crushed stone, and broken glass, are screened out. The rest will be packed, which can improve the combustion efficiency of the incinerator. If it can be recycled, then it won't need to be processed as garbage. There's still no permanent cure. This garbage that has been packaged still has nowhere to go. In fact, garbage disposal depends on others, as there are currently 8 counties and cities in Taiwan that don't operate incinerators. Among them, although there are incinerators in Yunlin County and Taitung County, but they have not been activated due to controversy. The power ultimately rests with the local government, whether their incinerator is willing to help other municipalities dispose of garbage. Food waste is also a big problem for garbage disposal.
After the food waste from the garbage is separated, it is difficult to reuse or process it.
The EPA requires local governments to go to incinerators or landfills to conduct samples at a fixed time each year. If you go to see the proportion of food waste in our garbage for more than 30 years, it's more than 30%.
The garbage war is not over. If every household can be clean at the source and do a good job of sorting, including food waste screening, we can greatly reduce the amount of garbage we produce. In Xiamen, China, Tzu Chi care recipient, age 39, has been living on his own for 15 years after both his parents passed away. He has mental illness and closes himself off from the world. He didn't clean up after himself, and when Tzu Chi first visited, he refused to let them in. Slowly, as the two came into more contact, the care recipient opened up his heart and from his home to Tzu Chi. Follow our report as we see how love has helped turn his life around. Here's more.
从陈辉身上看到了慈济人的这种善巧，他需要的，而不是我们想要给他的。
Remembering their first encounter in 2018.
The first time I came, I saw a container filled with used tissue and flame. When I saw it, I was shocked. I've never seen a house like it before. Normally, when you walk into someone's home, their floor isn't sticky, but this was slimy and sticky.
In 2005, when Zhang Chenhui's parents passed away, he closed himself off even further due to his mental illness and stopped taking care of himself. Tzu Chi volunteers take care of him like a mother would and begin with teaching him how to clean up his home.
Chenhui has changed a lot. The first time I came here, the floor was full of tissue and dirty. The more we made contact with him, that is, Tzu Chi made contact with him, the more he changed.
After Zhang opened up, did the volunteers find out what the marks on the wall meant?
8號聽一道，9號聽一道，12號、13號、14號、15號、16號，逐日聽。
The volunteers spent some time convincing him and finally got him to leave his house to visit a dentist.
你的牙齒怎麼了？壞了，都壞了是吧？他很在意他的牙齒被拔掉。
Many of his teeth have rotted to the roots and needed extraction. In total of 5 treatments, 12 teeth were removed. Knowing Tzu Chi was doing a good deed, the dentist paid for the treatments out of his own pockets.
It's the reciprocation of love, right? The brother and sister have given so much, and their care has finally been repaid. He's beginning to bloom.
Besides the toothaches, his other secret is that in the 15 years since the death of his parents, he's never actually taken a shower. To solve that, the volunteers brought him to the Tzu Chi office to provide him with a place to get clean. A refreshing haircut brings out his smile.
From someone who is closed off and not wanting to talk to anyone, he's now willing and wanting to interact with others. It's such a big transformation.
Now Chen Hui will periodically bring a cart full of recyclables and donate it to Tzu Chi. Although he still remains shy, he offers to help by nailing boards together, fixing electronics, and with him wearing a volunteer's vest, he's looking like family. As time goes on, love is accumulated. As time goes on, moving forward is the way to have more of the future.
In order to sweep away the depressive mood of seniors during the pandemic, Tzu Chi volunteers and Tzu Jings went to Hesperus Village in Canada to hold a concert on the grass. They sang folk songs for the seniors, allowing them to dance happily. Later, they also prepared 100 special packages of epidemic prevention materials for these seniors.
At this concert on grass, the joyous atmosphere continued to heat up. And the seniors move happily together. There is also a flute that brings a lively and good mood. Tzu Chi volunteers and Chi Chings are performing outside Hesperus Village. Three sides of the same building are all taken care of, whipping off the elders' depressive mood during the pandemic.
It was so much fun today. Right there is my weed patch. I spend most of my time gardening and it exhausts me something fierce, but this was fun and exercise. I feel 20 years younger, really.
I have seen you many times here. You've come through the years and every time we feel happy and joyous.
We have sung a few songs for the seniors that they are familiar with and songs from their time. We saw them waving their hands and smiled at us from the window, making us feel grateful and happy.
Chi Ching's not only brought with happiness, but also prepared 100 packages of anti-epidemic materials in advance to enhance the seniors' protection.
We are packing masks and gloves into these little packages, and they're also a blessing from Master Chen Yan. So while we work and pack these, we also have to wear gloves and masks ourselves.
While the pandemic still remains, love and companionship has never ended.
The National Museum of Marine Science and Technology has been actively rehabilitating clownfish for many years. This common species has been decimated, but through this action, some 700 have been released. We leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.